Hey guys, this is Brad and Mike from Dallas Geek, and today we're going to start a new small series of ours. Well, small. We'll see how many videos we can do of it about the comic conventions.
I'm sorry, were we doing something? Oh, my bad. Okay, what conventions? Yeah, right. Go.
Since we are starting to go into convention season, we figured this would be the perfect time to start doing some videos about the various aspects of comic conventions, the small ones, the big ones, convention etiquette, all the above. Just if this is your first time, or if this is going to be your first time going to a convention, or if this is your 50th, 100th time to go to a convention.
Then you're old.
These videos are going to, if you've been to these before, these are going to be old knowledge for you. If this is going to be your first or one of your first, hopefully we'll be able to provide something to help you out. So this video is going to be all about what to expect at your first small convention. This is going to be stuff along the lines of local conventions that don't really have too many media guests, but are going to be more artist-centric, a bit more merchandise and vendor-centric. Someplace just mostly for the express purpose of giving a space for comic lovers to come together and in one way or another express our joint appreciation for the medium. So I think one of the next smaller conventions, our lights are going funky. One of the next smaller conventions here in Dallas is going to be the Texas Comic Book Show, which is from, I have a lot of friends that go to it. They enjoy it. There are some other small ones, little one-off conventions that will be popping up here in the next few months. So what type of stuff do we usually see at the small conventions?
The small ones are usually more artist-friendly.
Yeah.
Like, you'll have them there. It'll be a more intimate experience. Like, there aren't going to be Dallas Comic Con last year, I think, pulled 68 to 70,000 people. Like, those you're not going to get, but maybe 10,000 max?
No, I'm thinking...
I think it'd be smaller than that, probably like the 5,000, 8,000?
Yeah. These are the conventions that are usually going to be at your small local convention centers, event centers for your city, or a hotel ballroom.
Yeah.
Something that you'll go in, you'll see maybe a handful of people enter the door at a time. You get in and you have plenty of room to walk around, and it's you can take your time.
They're vendor setups, but they're not as vast. It's a lot of local shops, local comic book stores, local comic book artists. These are way more friendly to stores and artists in your actual neighborhood, sort of say.
Yeah.
And like those are actually the most intimate settings where you can literally just go up and have a conversation with people. Just kind of talk to them about their art, talk to them about what they sell, that kind of stuff. And that's where, like, if you really want to kind of get into the more artsy side of it, like if you want to really tackle, like, an artist's specific work, how they got into it, how you would want to get into it, that'd be the one to do.
Yeah. I know that I've had some great conversations at the smaller conventions with the artists, just to find out what inspired them to do their stuff. How did they get into the industry? Because I mean, every artist that likes comics thinks they can do the comic art route, but once you start getting into it, you realize it's not the easiest. So this is a great opportunity to be able to talk to them and say, how did you do it? Do you think, I really like what your stuff is. Can I get your email? Do you think we could talk a little bit going on? Could you take a look at some of my pieces? See what you think. Obviously be respectful
Yeah.
about all of it. Not everybody's going to be as interested in those type of conversations as others are, but you're more likely to find people that are willing to talk to you in that way at the smaller conventions, because there's not such a push for, just get the next person in line. Let's try to just survive the crowds and, not suffocate from the just sheer people.
Not only that, but they're coming from where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like, it could be that they haven't been where they're at for long. They remember what it was like to kind of be starting out and everything like that. So you'll usually get artists that'll kind of be more willing to kind of like, oh yeah, let me take a look at your work. Let me kind of give you some words of encouragement, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because you have to remember, if you're going to be a vendor at one of the big conventions, booth space, especially the big conventions, has a premium price on it. So the artists and the vendors that are on the smaller end of the spectrum, that are just starting out and want to try to get more attention, they can't afford those. So they're going to try to afford the smaller conventions because they make it a lot more accessible.
Yeah.
So it's going to be usually a much friendlier environment.
And that's also where they grow their customer base too.
Yeah. So if you want to find more independent artists, you want to find the more niche vendors, that's going to be one of the best places to do it. It's just there's a lot of fun that could be had, and you have a much better chance of even interacting with the other convention goers.
Yeah,
and really making a couple new friends. It's been great. We love the small conventions. Don't get much chance to go to them, but when we do, it's always been a fun experience.
Yeah, for sure.
With that, that's what you can expect for your first small convention. If any of you have other things that you want to say about the small conventions, any comments, any other things that you would like people to understand about what it's like to be at one of the smaller conventions, please leave a comment, like, share. Let's just try to get more people to learn about and appreciate the smaller conventions so that we can get some more attention to them. So with that, this is Brad and Mike from Dallas Geeks saying see ya.